Francisco, because we have such an engaged community. So I really appreciate everyone's participation on this panel as well as yours in the room. I'm not a City Hall insider. I'm an entrepreneur and educator. I'm a proven leader who has firsthand experience in creating jobs by supporting people with ideas and helping them take those ideas and turn them into something of value. I have spent more than a decade working on public education reform, bringing innovative solutions into our public schools to support teachers and improve student outcomes. I also know how to prioritize and balance budgets without a safety net, and have a long record of doing that. People often ask me, what do you want your legacy to be? And I always go back to this kind of 3 E's. The first thing is educational excellence. I absolutely believe we can achieve it with the right focus and commitment from the mayor. We have 56,000 kids in our district. We could be the model for excellence in urban education that other cities follow. We can actually get it done here. The other is an entrepreneurial spirit. We absolutely need to encourage this in the leadership in City Hall, where people are rewarded for continually finding ways to improve service to the community, continually piloting and innovating, and figuring out how to do that for less money. And then the last E is really building on a culture of empathy, because I feel like we forget people in San Francisco. And we need to make sure that the leadership of the city cares for all our residents, not that just those with a loud voice or money and influence. So I look forward to bringing that leadership to City Hall, and I really thank you for your participation.
Ms. Baum, followed by Mr. Avalos, and you both have up to 3.5 minutes if you want to use all of your extra time on this.
First, I want to thank you so much for inviting me. You are the very first group that ever invited me to a debate. I'm a Green, and I don't have a great big campaign chest, and I'm not an elected official or former elected official, and I've been kept out of many debates. I've crashed 2 of them, but when I tried to get in, I always said, the people from Potrero invited me, so thank you for making a decision for democracy and diversity of voices. San Francisco cannot solve its problems on its own. We have talked about so many things that we can do, but we cannot separate ourselves from this country that is spiraling down in this frenzy of greed and fear and being pulled to the right. We have a problem, and there is not enough difference between the 2 parties. The Democrats at the national level are doing nothing to serve those in need and protect those who need help. And at this level, we have a city that is run by a Democratic Party machine. It's unhealthy for North Korea to be a one-party state, and it's unhealthy for San Francisco to be a one-party city. We've got this sleazy run and rug campaign that has violated so many ethics laws, and we have a DA who refuses to investigate it. That's what you've got when you have a corrupt Democratic machine. If I were elected mayor, it would send a wave of hope through the whole country because I am a Green. It would unleash the political discourse on the left, whereas now it is being pulled to the right all the time. People pay attention to what San Francisco does. We have led the country before in so many ways, in civil rights, in anti-war movement, in gay rights. The people look to us, always. We can lead again, and the people of this country need San Francisco to lead them. You could be leading if you elected a Green mayor. I am the person most able to confront the kind of cronyism and incompetence and corruption in city government. It is time for San Francisco to woman up and to become the city that people who don't live here think that we already are. You know what I mean. The whole country needs this fantasy of San Francisco as a utopian city, and we have allowed them to have that fantasy. It's time to give them that reality. Let me remind you, with ranked choice voting, you have the freedom to vote your true beliefs, your passion, your heart. And I'm asking you to make me your #1 choice and send a message that you are fed up with settling for the crumbs that fall from the tables of the rich and the corporations. Thank you.
Mr. Avalos, up to 3.5 minutes, followed by Mr. Duffy for 90 seconds, and then Mr. Herrera for up to 2.5.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Potrero Hill Boosters and Democratic Club for having us all here today. And I really appreciate the comments of Terry Baum. And I have actually dabbled in past years, a long time ago, with third parties like the Green Party and the declined estates. I'm a Democrat. And I believe it's important to reform the party from within. And I'm a progressive. And I say progressive because I believe progressivism is truly about advancing a cause to get rid of disparities, to promote a society that works for everyone, to make sure that we can eradicate poverty, that we can have schools that work effectively, and government plays a role to make that happen. I believe that we have a city that is going in the wrong direction, and I have a new vision for a working San Francisco. I want an economy that's going to serve more of us, not just the well-educated and the wealthy. I want to build a community bank, a municipal bank in San Francisco. Terry Baum talks about it. I've asked for a report to come. I'm starting to work on it now. Whether I'm mayor or not, I'm going to be working towards building a municipal bank. We need state law to allow us to do that. So until we get state law to enact that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the banks and say, I have an ordinance and ask the banks to provide us a plan on how they're going to be stimulating the local economy to support small businesses, small property owners, and people who would like to own property. And we can get banks who are going to give us a plan where they can make these types of investments in our local economy. Then we will invest our local dollars to support those banks, to support our local economy. That is a big, major change in how we do business in San Francisco, and I am not afraid to break a few eggs to get things done. We need to look at how we are making our neighborhoods livable. And our housing is not affordable. The model we have right now is building affordable housing. It's building luxury housing. I want to look at affordable housing bond. I've asked the city attorney to draft that, and we're in the process of drafting it. It'll be for next year's ballot sometime. But we have to have a real strong community approach to make sure we're hitting all the needs necessary. Property owners need to be a part of that. People who want to own property, people who want to restore property, people who want to avoid defaulting on their loans. We need to have a part of that bond that's going to support people who are property owners, who want to be property owners. Our schools are actually getting better. We need to make sure they're going to work for all of us. Latino and African American students are not getting served as well as they can be in our school district. I'm committed to helping make that happen. Make sure our schools work well for everybody. I go back to January 4th of this year. I go back over and over again. January 4th was the night that the Board of Supervisors was going to appoint the interim mayor. And we were moving headlong to appoint a person who was not even in the country. And that's Ed Lee. He was not even in the country. And we were looking at appointing this person who had not told us that he even wanted to be mayor. He didn't call me. I was only 11 people to call. And that really disturbs me, that we have a form of government where backroom dealing can actually be part of electing or appointing the most powerful position in this office, and that worries me great. Under my administration and under my work, wherever I might land at City Hall, I guarantee that I will be working in transparent ways, ways that bring the public voice to the table to help shape what the city is all about. I want to bring out the best of San Francisco, and I want your help to help make that happen. Thank you very much.
Mr. Duffy, followed by Mr. Herrera, followed by Ms. Alvarado here for 90 seconds, and followed by Mr. Chu. Go ahead.
Thank you. As politicians, we're taught to talk about the great things we've done or the great things that we want to do. And I just want to ask you to take a minute to think about what being mayor means. An important part of the job is leading over 27,000 city employees. And I want to suggest to you that there is a way to lead this city that is different. And I believe as mayor that I can have a covenant with the people that work for the city. Think about it. The people that sweep the streets, the bus operators, the parking control officers, the child welfare workers. What if we had a mayor and a focus in city government to engage those individuals to think about their greatness, to think about why they come to work and what they want to be as heads of households, or the goals that they have for their careers. And what if coming to work isn't simply about pushing a broom for 40 hours a week, but it's about a city government that's helped you understand what first-time home buyer is about, what inclusionary housing is about, what Camp Mather is about, the schools and the after-school programs for your kids, the adult daycare that your parent might need. And I think that if you approach it that way, you truly have a covenant where people see that you're invested in their success. And whether you're riding the 29 or chasing a dog at Noe Courts, you see it as part of a bigger picture of what government can do. And having worked in government in my life, I believe in the dynamism. I believe in these people. Maybe it's not popular to say it, but I think that we can do great things. Please put me in your mix. One of the three, any place will be good. Thank you so much.
Mr. Herrera, 2.5 minutes, followed by Ms. Alio for 90 seconds.
First, Terry Bum, on behalf of the entirety of the Potrero neighborhood, I hope you see this is the kind of hospitality you get in Potrero Hill in terms of your invitation. So we're happy to have you here, and it's great to have you. And I just want to sort of go back to what I said at the beginning of my introduction, and that is how important I think this mayor's race really is, that I think it is a seminal election. I think it's the most important mayor's race in 20 years and the most important one we're going to have for the next 20. And if you heard the range of opinions that were discussed up here, I think you understand why. You see what the challenges are, but also what the opportunities are, especially when you have as good a group of public servants and people that want to be involved in public life, as you see up here on the stage before tonight. And for me, I hope you look at us all through the same prism. Does this individual who you're going to elect have a vision for not just what's going to occur in the next 4 or 8 years? Because I think that this race is about more than the next 4 or 8 years. I think the choices that we make in this election are going to dictate what kind of city we have for the next 50 or 75 years in a rapidly changing international environment. So the question you need to ask yourself is, who has the vision to assure that San Francisco can be a model for what a 21st century American city needs to be? Who can celebrate our past and adapt to our future? And that's something that I've tried to talk about during the course of this campaign in terms of assuring that we're creating economic opportunity for folks at every level of socioeconomic scale. Talking about housing that does the same. Helping to create quality schools, clean streets, and parks that serve our families who we need to make sure that we have here. But that kind of leadership and vision has to be balanced with something else. And that is, does the individual have a record of accomplishment that demonstrates that they know how to use the power of government to get things done? And that's why what I have tried to do for 10 years as your city attorney, to working to shut down the Potrero power plant, marriage equality, choice, suing Outlaw gender rating in the state of California, going after fraud, waste, and abuse in San Francisco Unified School District and San Francisco International Airport. I have used the power of the law to try and make a difference in people's lives each and every day. And that's what I want to do as your mayor, to use that vision and use that record of accomplishment to assure that San Francisco's best days are ahead of it. And I appreciate having your support on November 8th. Thanks very much.
Ms. Alio here, 90 seconds, then Mr. Chu for 2.5 minutes.
Let me start by thanking Tony Kelly. This is a great event. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, Boosters. Thank you, Democratic Club. Thank you, Potrero Hill. It is nice to be over here. I want to say I feel particularly empowered tonight. It was mentioned earlier that there were almost as many women up on this stage today as there's been. When you go to these things, we've done literally about 15 of them. And typically, there's much, much more testosterone up here than there is estrogen. So I'd like to thank Terry for being here and Joanna for making the conversations more interesting. And What I do want to say, and I'm going to speak to it a little bit because we don't really speak to it that much. San Francisco's had 43 mayors.